did and said, no, thank you. But we had people coming up to Kathy going, oh, when are they going to set up? I want to be interviewed. So that was great. So we knew that, people were really interested in it. And I told them that I would get them on the show. So I've already started reaching out to some folks to get them on the show here. So yeah, stuff happens. People get sick.
Oh my Lord, I felt so bad because I had a call out to here, and they had a cover. I mean, Bobby G had called out as well.
Okay.
He wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. And so, but the kids had a cover on short notice, both Tiger Talk and Superintendent Spotlight. And I was kind of bummed about that because it was National Cheeseburger Day.
Ooh.
I know. I missed out on National Cheeseburger Day.
Yeah. Ooh,
I was
yay.
like, oh.
I know. Well, the
Zap texted me back and goes, you must be sick if you're missing out on National Cheeseburger Day.
Right, exactly. Well, we had the turnout for senior options was fantastic. It was an awesome event. And guess who came? It was so cool, Pete. This woman said to me, oh, there's a gentleman over there who was looking for you and Pete Coles. You know who it was?
Who?
Dr. Akinyele Lovelace.
Oh, no kidding.
No, I am not kidding. He came. He spent a lot of time talking to Lynn Hills about the benefits program and Medicare open enrollment and his side of that piece. Lynn said she got great information, so she's trying to work now with family medicine, maybe create some extra hours to do some extra work helping them out with, during open enrollment. And then Dr. Lovelace went to all of the vendors. He was in the great room. He had to have been there for an hour. It was fantastic. And he said to me, he goes, this was phenomenal. Of course, his thing is, you should do this for like 3 or 4 days, Tina. I said, yeah, I would be in an institution. I mean, just trying to pull it off for one day was enough.
Sure, yeah.
So anyway, that was great. 2 days later, I drove up to Bar Harbor. My brother and sister-in-law from Tennessee were flying up there for 5 days. So I drove up there and surprised them. They didn't know that I was coming. Obviously,
cool.
My brother from Bar Harbor and my sister-in-law knew. So they were part of the plan. Nobody else in the family knew except for Gary and Grace.
That's
and Charlie.
Awesome, yeah,
I told
because
Charlie.
they had to know, yeah.
Yeah, they had to know.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was my 2 nieces, my 2 brothers who I was visiting, their daughter, they each have a daughter. Their daughters didn't know. So when I got, when the surprise happened and my sister-in-law from Tennessee was busy taking pictures and sending it off to the girls, and their daughters were like, well, wait a minute, we knew nothing about this. How is this possible? And I said, well, you're not going to be let in on all the secrets. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So we had a great time, a lot of laughs. We solved all the world's problems, and we watched a lot of football and drank some wine, and it was fabulous.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was absolutely great. And of course, now I'm back to reality, and it's going to take me 2 weeks to catch up of taking 2 days off, which is absurd, but that is the way it is right now.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to catching up after 2 weeks off. I think I'm bringing my tablet with me.
I know. 2 days. I couldn't believe it. But I've got my tax work off, all my interviews that I've been banging out over the last couple of days. I have more today, more tomorrow, more Friday, more next week, because next Friday is the deadline. So if you want to apply for this year's tax work off program, just saying, you better reach me soon. I'll get you an application packet. We have to get your interview in by next Friday because that's it. Otherwise, you have to wait till next year. We are planning our 10-year anniversary at the, quote, new senior center. I still call it the new senior center, so to have the seniors. So that will be happening at the end of the month, October 26th. I'm still back in the summer.
I'll be back
26th.
for that. Maybe I'll come over and do some.
It's the day after your wedding, Pete. So I have
the party.
The day after the party. Correct, not the wedding, not the ceremony, but the party. The 25th.
Are you sure it's not the 27th?
No, the party's the 25th, and
that's a Saturday.
Yes, correct, and the open house is Sunday.
Oh, okay, yes, and it is the day
Sunday.
after my party.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say, Pete.
I was like, usually don't do things on the weekend.
Don't mess
That's
me
what
up.
threw me off.
Well, you know what? We are doing it on Sunday, October 26th, because that is the actual anniversary date. And because, we're inviting all the dignitaries and the city councilors and, so it's a weekend. So hopefully they'll come. Well, they'll come because it's a week before the election, the local election. So I'm sure they'll be there. But yeah, so the invitations will start going out, but it's an open invitation to the seniors. The way the afternoon is going to unfold is from 12:30 to about 1:15-ish. we're gonna put together a slideshow of all of Tina's pictures that she's taken over the last 10 years at the senior center from all kinds of events and parties. So we'll be putting that together. And I'm hoping I can find some poster boards that I made up from, wherever. So we'll have those on display. And then we'll do the formalities and the remarks from 1:15 to a little before 2 o'clock. And then from 2 to 3, we have Sarah the Fiddler coming for a big blowout concert for all the seniors.
Nice.
Free of charge, no tickets for this event. It's an open house. So you just come and, and have fun and listen. So it should be a great time but that's where my energies are for right now. So yeah, lots going on at the center. So that's all cool. I feel like there was.
By the way, I had
a
dog dad moment yesterday.
Okay,
so,
what's up?
So Hawk was by himself all day because Christy works at UConn on Tuesdays. So I took him over to the dog park. Well, usually it's just me and him and running around and sniffing and that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So I get there and kind of less than 5 minutes, almost the same time, there's another dog shows up. All right, so Hawk's hasn't been around a lot of dogs, so, we worry about these things.
Yeah, a little skittish.
Yeah, no.
What's this? I want to
get territorial, but his tail's always wagging, right?
Okay.
So dog's on the outside of the fence. He's barking, right? Dog comes in the fence. Now they're sniffing each other, and they're fine, running around. Well, now 2 more dogs show up. Mm-hmm. Like, okay. So
a lot of action at the dog park.
Right. Well, yeah, and then another dog showed up. So there's 3 males and a female, and usually males don't always get along, right? So he's doing really well, and then I notice he's running around with them a little bit, and they're all sniffing each other and a little horseplay, and then he goes underneath the picnic table, and I'm like, he did it once, and I'm like, maybe he's just trying to play with them and follow the leader type of thing.
Yeah.
And then he got mad, I think, because they were jumping up on the picnic table and coming over and licking me. Or I don't know if he got mad.
Oh, he was jealous.
But he couldn't get up on the table because he's a smaller dog than they are. They're all bigger than he is, right? So he's back under the table, and I noticed that he probably pulled a muscle because he hasn't played that hard in forever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Hockey, you done? And he starts running towards the gate.
Oh,
but he was playing with them for a good 10 minutes, and what we were worried about is we have to leave him with my son.
Okay.
And
for the wedding, yeah.
And their brand new dog.
Okay.
And we were wondering if he'd be social with other dogs. And once he was in the same space as them, and he knew that they're okay to be in the space, he was fine.
He was all right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So you worry about that.
Yeah.
But he does have, I think he pulled a muscle.
Oh.
In his front hind quarter.
Poor guy.
So his, the paw's up yesterday, and Christy's freaking out. And I'm like, it's just a pulled muscle. We all do it. We're getting old. He's 10.
Oh, he's 10.
Yeah.
Oh. And what kind of dog is he, Pete?
Like a terrier.
Like a mix?
Terrier with a little bit of beagle in him.
Okay.
So he's got that high, shrill bark type thing.
Yeah.
And he's a good dog. I mean, I love him. He's a great dog.
Good.
But we were worried about him socializing.
Yeah.
And he apparently has no problem with that.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. So you've figured that out.
You worry about these things.
Yeah.
He's going to meet my son's dog, who's a puppy.
Yes.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we were worried. Christy was petrified.
No, I get that.
Petrified.
I know.
You've never seen him with the haunches up, and I'm like, that's because he's protecting you.
Yeah.
He thinks he's protecting you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully knock on wood.
I see him with his tail wagging all the time, and I'm like, he wants to play.
Yeah. Why not, right?
These are the things you work out as a couple.
Yes, they are the things you work out as a couple. So you are you getting the RSVPs for the wedding stuff going on now?
Yeah, I think we're up to like 82.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anybody I know? Am I gonna be...
Most of the crew from here, yeah.
Okay.
I think JPEG Luca's got something going on.
He does. You had said he has something.
Montgomery and Kenny. I'm not sure about Kenny. Kenny might be with him that day.
Okay.
We still haven't figured that one out, but yeah.
Okay. Good.
A lot of people coming.
Good. Well, it's going to be a good time. All right, let's take our first break. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is October 1st. I can't tell you how many people. Like yesterday, I was writing the date, September 30th. I was doing my interviews for my tax work off, and people were saying,
find this song. Hold on.
People were like, I can't believe that it's that it's almost October, but it is. You know, we've had a really warm stretch of weather, so I think that's thrown us all off, which is why I'm calling October August, because, you know, it sort of feels like that. Although there's a little bit, it's a little cooler this morning, so we're supposed to get a little coolness this morning and tomorrow morning, but then Friday back into the 70s. Supposed to be a beautiful weekend, which I'm really happy about. We'll talk a little bit more, but this Sunday is Run Stanley, so it's promising
by the
to
way,
be another nice weekend. Yes.
Kenny and I are tag teaming on that.
Okay, that's okay.
Because I now have a family event that I didn't thought I'd have. So
Okay.
You gave me an obscure song. You know that, right?
It's not that obscure. It's on YouTube. I mean, I just looked up, you know, breast cancer awareness, and this song popped right up. The one with Dolly Parton and crew.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that one.
Okay, yeah, it's called Pink.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
You saw that, but it's like, what is this? And it's actually a really cool song. I had never heard of it, but just while Pete's doing that,
right, I've never heard of it either.
I'll give you a little intro. This is the song is called Pink. It was written for breast cancer survivors. It's sung by Dolly Parton, Monica, Jordan Sparks, Rita Wilson, and Sarah Evans. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we're going to talk a little bit about that after this break. You are listening to WSFD. I'm looking for it on the screen. WSFD 107.5.
I thought we taped it to the thing out there, right?
It is, but it's like on the other end. So I've got it on my cheat sheet. It's just that I'm looking for it on the screen. It's not on the screen. I don't know why I'm looking for it there. WSFD 107.5 FM and WCPC cable channel 15. Did you find it, Pete?
I'm working on. Where did it go? I downloaded it. I just don't know where it went. Okay. That's where it's supposed to be. How did you label this thing? Hold on.
That's okay. You talk. You do that.
Okay. There we go. They put it in quotation marks. That's why I couldn't find it.
Ah.
All right. I got it.
There you go. We'll listen to Pink.
Someday, pink will just be a color, not a ribbon to remember. A best friend or a mother. Someday you won't have to put a wig on, and a baseball cap will just be a hat. Not something to hide under, 'cause your hair is gone. Someday's coming in me day. You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. Face a day that feels like you're gonna break. Lean on the ones that love you, the guardian angels above you, and think about where pink is just another color. Make you wanna cry. And someday we're gonna have a party. We'll pop pink balloons with people who know love can be an army. Someday is coming any day. You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. You face a day that feels like you're gonna break.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
You're listening to 107.5 WSFD-LP, Westfield Community Radio in Westfield, Mass.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:21. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM. Radio for the Westfield masses and WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board and the chief engineer, Pete Coles. Good morning again, Pete.
Good morning.
So you found the song. It's a great song. So
once
you got it, once you found it, I don't know how new it is because I've done breast cancer awareness.
I've never played that song
before, and we've never played that song, and I had never heard of that song, but I really, really like it. So thank you for playing that. Before I get into the breast cancer awareness piece, Pete, I forgot to tell you this. So I told you that I went up to Maine, right? Surprised my brother. Great weekend, all terrific. So last Tuesday, I was so glad that I decided to do, even though I came home on Tuesday, I decided to do a best of show on Wednesday morning. Yeah, well, that turned out to be about the best decision that I made because I'm driving along, bebopping on the pike, making good time, and I got to the sign that said, entering Palmer, and the traffic was stopped. So it's like, okay, and I got my GPS stuff on. It's like, yep, traffic, I had what? It turned out to be a dual tractor trailer accident. So two tractor trailers collided. Road closed. One tractor trailer completely burned up. I saw the photos later on Channel 22 and Channel 40, and you couldn't even tell it had been a tractor trailer. So I got to...
Did you get to the Palmer exit?
No, nope. I was 2 miles shy of the Palmer exit. So I saw the sign that said entering Palmer.
Right, because technically you are in Palmer,
Yeah, so technically I was in Palmer, but 2 miles shy of the exit. And I arrived there at 10 minutes to 4 and did not move my car until 7:37.
Yeah, sure.
It was almost 4 hours. We were literally at a dead standstill. And of course, you don't really know what's going on. And I looked at one point, about 2 hours into it, I looked behind me and I saw the driver there was a small car behind me. It was a female driver, and she had a baby who was now kind of hanging out the window a little, just kind of looking around. And I thought, oh my God, she's got a baby in the, I can't believe it. So of course,
imagine having an electric car.
Well, oh no, I can't. So so here we go. So now we're 2 hours, almost 2 hours into this. So now everybody just shuts their car off, and now we get out. We're having a party on the pike. So I go to the lady behind me. I said, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "I can't believe you have a baby." Well, as it turned out, she was driving. Her husband, spouse, partner was in the passenger seat with the baby, and she said, "Well, which one?" And I said, "What?" I looked in the car. Well, the one that
Twins?
I saw was 7 months
toddler,
old.
Yep.
And the one behind was 2 years old. She's in her car seat. And then she had a 17-year-old. And I said to her, I can't remember, the one in the car seat is sitting there eating a box of cereal. And she said to me, I found this box of cereal in the trunk of my car. I don't even know how long it's been there. We were cracking up, but she said, keeping her busy. And I said to her, I cannot believe these two girls, this was 2 hours into it, and they were doing okay. And she said, well, actually, what's impressing me more is my 17-year-old who hasn't complained at all. And, he's on his digital, whatever
until the battery runs out.
Until the battery runs out, exactly. But, they were on their way to the Big E, coming from Shirley. So they were going to have to, now turn around, because, of course, she's like, I got 2 little kids. They're just going to have to get to the exit, turn around, and head back. But oh my gosh, what a nightmare. And I'm texting Gary and Grace. So they're actually, and I'm checking this out on my phone and what's going on. And it was, that part of it was not fun. But Gary said to me, like, you know, when he realized what was happening and how long this was going to be, he said, please tell me you and Pete are doing a best of show tomorrow. And I said, well, we are. That was the plan all along, regardless of the fact that, you know, it took me 11 hours to get from, you know, Bar Harbor into my kitchen. But anyway, it was crazy. All right.
I've been on traffic jams like that, but I've done it in Buffalo due to a snowstorm.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
Closed the road.
Yeah. Yeah, that would not be fun.
Me and my dad were in a pickup truck with 2 racing car engines in it, and we decided to blow down an embankment and up an embankment and go the wrong way on the highway. Go the wrong way on the we went to the other side.
Yeah.
Got off the nearest exit and got the last hotel room. Everything was shut down for
my
like
goodness,
2 days.
Pete.
And then the highway was shut down for almost 3 days. People were stuck on that highway for almost 3 days.
Oh my! I can't even imagine that.
You couldn't move.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I do know the feeling of you can't move.
We had so much weight in the pickup.
Yeah.
That we had traction all the way down and all the way back up.
That's stinking amazing. I can't believe that. That's
and
unbelievable.
And we still had to get the race car motors to Indiana. So we did back roads, and they had the whole city was shut down. We were kind of illegal, but we went around the blockage. Yeah. Found out where the blockage was.
Yep.
Went around that in the days before GPS.
Yeah. Well, that's
made it to Indiana and made it back, and they had just opened the road.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, that's the thing. Like, you think about it. I could check on my phone so that at least I had half an idea of what was going on. Not that the news stations had a great handle on it then. They did by the 11 o'clock news. You know, they could go look back and say, well, this is what happened. Yep. But, you know, at least we had an idea and I knew where the accident was. But, you know, think about it. If you didn't have your phones, your smartphones or whatever, you know, you're just stuck there. You have no idea what's ahead of you. Yeah, but you don't know where. You don't know what's going on and how far. You know, I can't imagine how far
and
back
that's a 16-mile stretch between Palmer.
Exactly.
I think it's either 8 or 16 miles between Palmer and Brimfield or Charlton.
Right. I was going to say, go back and look behind you, and it's like they were backed up to where the road splits. You know, where 84.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I can't even imagine that. It was crazy. Just crazy. But anyway, here I am. I'm here to talk about it. So, all right. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a time for reflection on trends in breast cancer research, prevention, and treatment. According to the National Cancer Institute, approximately 317,000 women in the United States are estimated to be diagnosed with breast cancer this year, 2025. Furthermore, about 42,000 are expected to die of the disease. Breast cancer is the most common type of non-skin cancer in women in the United States. Notably, it accounts for about 30% of all new cancer cases in women. It is second only to lung cancer as a cause of cancer death in American women. In the United States, about 1 in 8 women, which is about 13%, will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. Like most cancers, the risk of breast cancer increases with age. Additional risk factors include exposure of breast tissue to estrogen made by the body, presence of dense breast tissue, early or late onset of menstruation, and early is before the age of 12, and I think late was after the age of 18. Older age at first birth. So if you were, like I was older when I gave birth to Grace, I was in my mid-30s.
Most people are now.
Yeah. Or never having given birth. So that puts me at a higher risk. Or people who have never given birth at a higher risk. The use of hormones for symptoms of menopause, which that's been well documented, drinking alcohol, obesity, and not getting enough exercise. So those are all risk factors. Hereditary breast cancer makes up about 5 to 10% of all breast cancer diagnoses, which surprised me. I thought it was higher than that. It's not. Women who have mutations of certain genes, such as BRCA1 and BRCA2, can have a higher level of risk. Men can also get breast cancer. We don't talk about that much, but they can. An estimated 2,800 men are expected to be diagnosed with breast cancer this year, and about 500 are estimated to die of the disease. Radiation exposure, high levels of estrogen, and a family history of breast cancer can increase a man's risk of the disease.
Well, radiation exposure for anything would cause.
Yes.
Because your genes mutate.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. The 5 common warning signs of breast cancer are a new lump or thickening. And obviously, women, we've done self-breast exams, have been taught to do that for many years, and we're always looking for lumps or a thickening area. Changes in the skin's texture or color, a swelling, warmth, or redness, those are also indications, a change in the size or shape of the breast, and nipple changes such as a discharge or retraction. So if any of those things happen, you should absolutely see a healthcare provider, as only a medical professional can determine if it's a sign of breast cancer. So here are a few interesting facts about breast cancer. With screening mammography, 66% of breast cancers are found before spreading to other parts of the body, and that obviously makes it easier to treat. I mean, any cancer is easier to treat and get control over if it's confined to the original area and it hasn't metastasized or spread. About 99% of women live for 5 years or more if cancer has not spread past the breast. Again, much better odds. Breast cancer death rates have gone down, primarily as a result of better screening and awareness of the risks. Yearly participation in screening mammography lowers death rates by 43%. And I would say, I know I've had this conversation with Dr. Lovelace and with my own, gynecologist. I mean, they are my own primary care physician. They're all about when was your last mammography. About 85% of breast cancers are diagnosed in people with no risk factors. So, even if you don't have a risk factor, which is why they really push having a mammogram. Many factors affect whether mammography is able to detect or find breast cancer. So first of all, the age and the weight of the patient has something to do with whether or not when you have a mammogram, if they're able to find a cancer. Obviously, the size and the type of the tumor, the smaller, and depending on where it is, can make it more challenging to see something on a mammogram. How sensitive the breast tissue is to hormones, how dense the breast tissue is, and that's a big deal now. I just had my mammogram last month, within the last few weeks, actually, over at Bay State Noble. They do a great job there. And I got, when my letter came that everything was fine, they said the density is not great, and that makes it harder for them to find something. Generally, the younger a woman is, the more dense her breasts are, and the older that you get, the less dense. So it actually is easier to pick something up on a mammogram for women who are a bit older. The timing of the mammography within the woman's menstrual cycle can make a difference on whether and how easy it is for them to spot something. The quality of the mammogram picture, I've had that too, where but now they can look at it right away and say, you know what, we're going to take that view one again. We're not happy with the way that came out. And then, of course, the skill of the radiologist in reading the mammogram. So, the person who actually does the mammogram is not the radiologist who's going to read the mammogram. So they're skilled at knowing, this is a good view. This is, this picture is not a good picture. We need to take it again. But that's not the person who actually reads it. That'll go to the radiologist. So women, those mammograms are really important. They are a first line of defense. Of course, breast self-exam as well. But get your annual mammogram. Almost all insurances will cover that, and if not, ask them, because there are some programs for that. So just ask when you call to make your appointment. If your insurance doesn't cover it, ask them if there's another option for payment and reimbursement to the hospital. All right. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM and WCPC Cable Channel 15. So we have some famous birthdays that we're going to talk about when we come back. And the first one, we have a song that we're going to listen to. It is the birthday of Bonnie Parker, one half of Bonnie and Clyde.
Notorious American.
Yes, Notorious American. We're going to talk. We'll find out a little bit about Bonnie Parker. And before that, we're going to listen to the Ballad of Bonnie and Clyde by Georgie Fame. We'll be back.
Bonnie and Clyde were pretty-looking people, but I can tell you people, they were the devil's children. Bonnie and Clyde began their evil doing one lazy afternoon down Savannah way. They went and robbed a store and hightailed out of that town.
right down. Bonnie and Clyde advanced their reputation and made the graduation into the banking business. Reached for the sky, talking Clyde would holler. His money put the dollars in the burlap bag. Now one brave man, he tried to take them all alone. They left him lying in a pool of blood and laughed about it all the way home. I got to be public enemy number one, running and hiding from every American lawman's gun. They used to laugh about dying, but deep inside them they knew that pretty soon they'd be lying beneath the ground together, pushing up daisies to welcome the sun in the morning June. Reliable information, a federal deputation laid a deadly ambush. When Bonnie and Clyde came walking in the sunshine, a half a dozen carbines opened up on them. Bonnie and Clyde lived a lot together. They died.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
You're listening to 107.5 WSFD-LP, Westfield Community Radio in Westfield, Mass.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:38. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial and WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio with the chairman of the board and our chief engineer, Pete Coles. Good morning again, Pete.
Good morning. By the way,
Yeah.
Did somebody throw the prompt out there? Do that song in the style of Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounded like a Schoolhouse Rock song. I was like, it's not, because I looked it up. But
Okay, but it does. All right, so let's talk about the late Bonnie Parker, bank robber, outlaw, born on this day in 1910 in Rowena, Texas. She died on May 23rd, 1934 at the ripe old age of 23. Bonnie Parker was one half of the famous crime duo of Bonnie and Clyde, whose crime spree across Southwest America horrified and fascinated the country. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow originally met in 1930 in Texas. Bonnie was 19 years old and the wife of a convicted imprisoned murderer. Clyde was 21 and imprisoned shortly after for burglary. Bonnie helped him escape before he was recaptured. The pair's real crime spree began after Clyde's release in 1932. The duo's famous image came from photos discovered after a raid on an apartment in Joplin, Missouri. In one notorious image, Bonnie posed with a gun and a cigar in her mouth. The gang escaped back to Texas and began a series of robberies and kidnappings. They came to the attention of the FBI in 1933 after they took a stolen car across state lines. After a police shootout killed Clyde's brother, Buck Barrow, and captured his wife, Bonnie and Clyde continued on alone, robbing small banks and stores and killing as they went. Together, they are thought by the FBI to be responsible for 13 murders, including 3 police officers. Texan authorities hired former Texas Ranger Frank Hamer, and he and police tracked Bonnie and Clyde down in Louisiana in May of 1934. They were finally shot and killed in a police ambush near Sales, Bienville Parish, Louisiana, in 1934. Their fame outlived their deaths, as this is unbelievable, 10,000 people swarmed the funeral parlor to see their bodies. 10,000 people.
Yeah, they were modern-day folk heroes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
At least that's the way they were portrayed.
Yeah, I mean, their bullet-riddled car toured the country. So, there you go. Birthday of Bonnie Parker. All right, it is also the birthday of the late, and I never really knew this was his full name, James Earl Carter, 39th President of the United States. We know him as Jimmy Carter, but I didn't know James Earl Carter. Yeah. Born on this day in 1924 in Plains, Georgia. He died last year, December 29th, 2024. He was 100 years old. Previously, the governor of Georgia, peanut farmer and naval officer Jimmy Carter defeated Gerald Ford in the 1976 presidential election. During his term in office, he pardoned all evaders of the Vietnam War draft and created 2 new cabinet-level departments, the Department of Energy and the Department of Education, which is slowly becoming dismantled. He established national energy policy, which included conservation, price controls, and new technology. In foreign policy, Carter secured the Camp David Accords, which established peace between Israel and Egypt, and conducted arms limitation negotiations with the Soviet Union. Jimmy Carter lost re-election after the economy entered a state of persistent stagflation, and an energy crisis caused severe shortages at home. The last period of his presidency was marked by the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, the 3 Mile Island nuclear reactor crisis, and the Iran hostage crisis. Carter had the longest presidential retirement of any president. He worked to advance causes of peace, affordable housing, human rights, and fair elections. In 2002, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for his work with the Carter Center for his decades of untiring effort to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts, to advance democracy and human rights, and to promote economic and social development. So happy birthday to the late James Earl Jimmy Carter, 39th President of the United States. Mm-hmm. And today is the birthday of actress and singer Julie Andrews. She's 90 years old today. She was born in Surrey, England, October 1st, 1935. I can't believe, Julie Andrews, 90 years old. That just doesn't seem right. She'll always be Mary Poppins to me. Eternally best known for her portrayals of Mary Poppins and Maria in The Sound of Music, Andrews was a child star in England, making her West End debut as a young teenager. In 1954, she made her Broadway debut in a supporting role, eventually starring in musicals such as My Fair Lady and Camelot. She was passed over for the film adaptation of My Fair Lady because of the studio wanting a bigger name, and at that time, she wasn't a big name yet, so they gave the role to Audrey Hepburn instead. Andrews did make the transition to the silver screen in the same year, which was 1964, garnering accolades for her performance in the title role of Mary Poppins. Further film and stage roles such as The Sound of Music and Victor Victoria, film and stage versions, and assorted television specials followed. In 1997, throat surgery caused permanent damage to Andrews' vocal cords, ending her singing career. Julie Andrews continues to act, including roles in the Princess Diaries and Shrek film franchises. She's also the author of children's books with her daughter Emma. Andrews was married twice, to British set designer Tony Walton from 1956 to 1968, with whom she had a daughter, and then to American film director Blake Edwards, who directed Breakfast at Tiffany's and all of the Pink Panther films. She was married to him from 1969 until his death in 2010. So happy 90th birthday to Julie Andrews. All right, those are the birthdays for the day. So you are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM and WCPC Cable Channel 15. In honor of the birthday of Jimmy Carter, I found this song, which I thought was actually really cool. It's Imagine, which was done by the Beatles, but this version is done by Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. And this was done at Jimmy Carter's funeral last year. So let's listen.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possession. Wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
You're listening to 107.5 WSFD-LP, Westfield Community Radio in Westfield, Mass.
Good morning, Westfield. That is such a wake-up, Pete. Good morning, Westfield. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM, as you just heard, and cable channel 15 WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. I am in the studio with the chairman of the board, Pete Coles, and Carol Palmer is joining us. She's here early this morning. You were here bright and early after that Red Sox game last night and rehearsal last night. What is it? You couldn't sleep or what happened?
I don't know. I just set my alarm and I'm like, I got to get out of here.
And here you
fall
are.
Back to sleep.
And here you are. And I told Carol it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is October 1st. I said, you got to find something pink. Look what she found, her Red Sox hat in that great color. I love it. Perfect.
I forgot I had that.
It's perfect. Yeah. She was going to grace us with her Halloween costume, but it's a little early in the month for that.
No, never too early.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Bless you.
Right?
They already have Christmas stuff out. Never mind.
Oh, I know. Where was I? At Michael's or Walmart or someplace, and I thought, oh, I'm so not ready for this.
No,
but
exactly.
we are in the planning stages, so I'm aware.
Too early.
It is. I mean, October 1st, but yeah. Is Evie gonna go trick or treating? Will she dress up as anything?
She is going to be Doc McStuffins. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Why do I know that though? Yes.
It's a cartoon and it's about a little girl doctor.
Oh, okay.
And so she has the whole outfit, and I bought her the medical kit.
Oh, yes. Well, we have, Grace. Yeah, Charlie got a medical kit for Christmas last year. It's a veterinarian one.
Oh,
so it's,
okay.
we do, all the dogs, and we take their, we give them medicine and shots, and we check their heart and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
we do that too.
Mm-hmm.
But Doc McStuffins is I think it's for people.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
She's got her little white coat,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a picture I'll have to show you at some point. So because I showed my college roommate, who's my best friend, who lives down in Virginia. So she said, send pictures of Charlie. So after Christmas, Charlie and I were playing, veterinarian. So she's in the lab coat. I'm her assistant. So I got the little hat on with the cross on it.
Of course.
And, I think I have the clipboard with the I had the clipboard with the appointment schedule on it, but there's this little mini cell phone that came with her kit. So she's on the phone, and and she has this sucky thing coming out of her mouth. She was sucking on frozen raspberries because she was teething at the time.
Oh yeah.
So she has that. She's got the phone like this, and she's got the animal. It's hilarious. And my roommate, my past roommate, Linda, just said, I want to come up there and play with you too. I mean, Linda was born. She worked at she's a nurse. She worked at a pediatric hospital. She was born to work with children. She's like, you look like you're having so much fun. So anyway,
I admire that.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's happening at the Senior Center. It is a new month, and so the October Voice of Experience newsletter hit the streets on Saturday. Shout out to Barbara Martone for coming over there on the last Saturday of the month to help me get all these newsletters bundled, counted, and then she's actually started doing some delivery of them, which is so nice. Thank you, Barbara. I don't know what we'd do without you. All right, so we already talked about the fact, but we're going to talk about it all month long, that we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary in the new Senior Center. I have to keep putting that in quotation marks because I still call it the new Senior Center.
I know.
As opposed to
a lot
the
of
old
people
one.
do.
The people who don't are the people who never went to the old one and saw how awful it really was. I mean, it was
I remember.
Awful. It was awful. Well, I mean, it was 1,200 square feet, and this is 20,000 square feet. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was a closet. I called it the one-room schoolhouse because we did everything in one room.
In the big room.
In the big room, which wasn't that big, but it was the biggest one that we had.
Right.
And when I say to people, we had, the dining room tables, we would have parties and stuff. And then on one end of the big room, we had the travel club had a desk, it wasn't a desk, it was a table. I think we got a phone over there for them. And then on the other end, underneath the stairwell was the nurse's office. And then on the other side of the stairwell, Sandra had her desk because she was in charge of the kitchen at the time. I mean, it was insane. It was the big schoolhouse, and when everybody was in there at the same time, it was crazy. So anyway, we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary on the anniversary date, which is October 26th. It's a Sunday. The invitations are all over the senior center now in the lobby because I put them up yesterday. So we'll talk more about that. Our Right from the Heart Writers Group is looking for new members. So this is a group that Donna Herman, who has a lot to do with Stanley Park, she's been on the board and has served on all kinds of committees there.
Yep.
Donna Herman came to me several years ago. I don't remember if it was pre or post COVID, saying she wanted to start a writing group. We had a writing group at the senior center, at the old senior center, that was very successful. So I said, sure. So anyway, they meet on Mondays from 1:30 to 3 o'clock. Some of them actually write by hand. Some of them use their computers and their laptop. They write about personal experiences. They do creative writing. They do kind of short story stuff, essays, poetry, you name it. Most of the writing that they do is done at home, and then they bring it in and they read it to each other and they listen, and there's no judgment or anything. She said we laugh, sometimes we even shed a few tears depending on what somebody's written about. Anyway, it's a really nice group of people. So you are welcome to join or to just come in and sit down and see what it's all about. Again, they meet every Monday from 1:30 to 3 o'clock in the Creativity Center while they're being creative. This month we have ballroom dance. We're doing that quarterly at the Senior Center with Richie Mitnick, live music. So that will be on Wednesday, October 22nd from 1:30 to 3:30. That is becoming very popular. There's no charge for this. This is complimentary, courtesy of the Friends of the Westfield Senior Center. You don't have to sign up. You just come and dance. I like that. What's better than that? I love dancing.
I do
For
too.
me, it's like, what's better than that?
Funny story.
Go ahead.
I have one little like 10, 15 second dance at the end of this one song in the show.
Okay.
And it is a waltz.
Oh.
And so my partner, who also plays my husband, his name is Peter. Peter and I just step out there and we start, and the lady said, our choreographer, Anine, said, oh, did you take cotillion dancing? Because we went right into the position, which was weird.
Yeah.
And Peter said, oh, yeah, I've been doing that all my life. Like, you have not, you brat. But I did. My parents put me in that kid group, where you learn all the waltzes and the sambas and the
the foxtrot and the cha-cha.
And there were like 3 boys and like 18 girls.
Oh yes, exactly. Do you know how I learned how to dance? Because I did the waltz and the cha-cha and the polka and the cha and all of those. You know who taught me?
Who?
My father.
Really?
My father did. My father was a great dancer. My parents took dance lessons later on.
Yeah.
But that was just to kind of, hone in on some of the things that they, to make it a little fancier.
Yeah.
No, my father did. And, when I was a kid, we were invited to weddings and we were great. We weren't like kids running around. Like we were out dancing and doing all that kind of stuff. So,
it's good for you anyway.
I love dancing. All right. So, we were talking about the fact that this holiday stuff is coming out. Can you believe it? Well, here I am telling you about the turkey dinner. So we do a turkey dinner for our indoor diners at the beginning of November, because we also do turkey dinners that we deliver on Thanksgiving Day. So the kitchen, a long time ago, we realized that trying to do it all around Thanksgiving was way too much. Because, of course, my kitchen people also have a life.
Oh, yeah.
So they also have to prepare these meals at home. So we kind of kick off Thanksgiving season at the beginning of November. Well, when you start backing up, it means we have to sell the tickets for this in October.
Right.
So that's why we're talking about it now. So this year's indoor turkey dinner will be Thursday, November 6th. So it's the whole, shebang. It's turkey, gravy, cornbread stuffing, green beans, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, the whole 9 yards. But you do have to buy your tickets in advance, and the tickets will go on sale on Thursday, October 23rd at 9 a.m. $5, which is still like an amazing bargain.
Oh, my goodness,
You know,
yes.
I mean, and we even talked. I said to the kitchen crew, okay, do we need to go up this year? And they said, no, we're gonna squeeze by with one more year. This is it's not a party. There's no entertainment, and the part of the reason we do that, to keep the cost down, but also because that way we can use the stage, because we feed like 120 people. So if without the entertainment, we can use the entire room, including the stage. You're limited to 4 tickets per person. So that's, and we have to have names and phone numbers for each of the tickets. So when you're purchasing, just keep that in mind. All right. So that's coming up. We still have a few weeks for that, but these are coming attractions. Technology support, the students will be back. The Westfield Technical Academy students will be back for their monthly technology support. Thank you to Christian Bohr from the Westfield Athenaeum, who covered us for the summer and into the month of September till the students kind of got up and running. But they will be back on Thursday, October 23rd. So you can come and purchase your ticket for your turkey dinner, and then you can go and have them explain to you how to use your cell phone. So I got a new cell phone a few weeks ago.
God.
So I scheduled my appointment with Christian. He was wonderful.
Yeah?
He was absolutely, when he answered all my questions. We figured some stuff out. He showed me how to do things. It's great, folks. I got to tell you, take advantage of this technology support, because I'm ready to sign up just to say, okay, well, I kind of know some of the basics. What else can I do with this thing?
Yeah.
You know, does it do dishes? Can you program that in? Will it vacuum my living room for
wish.
me? I know. All right. So anyway, they will be at the Senior Center on Thursday, October 23rd from 9 to 11. You do have to sign up for that in advance, and just let us know, kind of what some of the questions are, so that the students can prepare ahead of time, and they'll be able to help you out. This month's Diabetes Dialogue Support and Education Group, they just met yesterday with Jen Jafune. This month's topic is heart-healthy fats and diabetes. I think yesterday they did vitamins and minerals, so I'll have to ask Jen how that went over. Anyway, that will be Tuesday, October 28th. And I'm pushing I started a new support group 2 months ago, my Stand By Me support group. And it meets on the last Wednesday of the month from 9 to 10:30. So we will be meeting at the end of the month, October 29th. It's a great group. My side-by-side group just got so big that I can't add any more people. So that's off the table for people. But my Stand By Me group, we have 2 women and 1 gentleman, and all with different issues that they came in with. But the chemistry is fabulous. So all of that is good. And then my last announcement before we take our top of the hour break. So the Friends of the Westfield Senior Center are running a membership special starting on our 10-year anniversary date and going through the end of the year. So it'll go from October 26th to December 31st. It's normally, we only do lifetime memberships, and it's $100 for an individual lifetime membership. They're doing a half price special. So in honor of our 10-year anniversary, so it'll be $50 for a lifetime membership. Checks should be made payable to the Friends of the Westfield Senior Center. And, the Friends group, we'll talk about this more at the 10-year anniversary, but they have just been instrumental on supporting our programs. I mean, fitness-wise, they purchased a whole bunch of stuff over the years, from yoga mats and stretchy bands and weights, small weights, bigger weights for the male call class, and that just for that program. But they helped with the renovation of the upstairs office suite, kitchen supply. Can't tell you how many kitchen supplies. And really, since COVID, they've been paying for all of the entertainment. So when we have a special event, they're paying for our entertainers to come. So and a lot of other groups just to get started. They bought chess sets, they bought mahjong sets. Just so that people who came to us and said, I want to start a group. And we said, well, what do you need? Cribbage boards, things like that. It's like, well, we need a few of these. So it's like, off to the Friends group I went, and they are a fabulous board. I have to tell you, I hear the horror stories from other senior centers and other, senior center directors who say, my Friends board wants to pay for this. We don't need it. We don't want it. But what we do need is this or that, but they don't want anything to do with that. I've never had that. I have never had that. And I can't tell you how many directors are saying, Nope, our Friends Board is like, no, we've decided that you need this. And even though the director's saying, no, don't need it, don't want it, don't have space for it. Nope, this is what you need to have. And the director's saying, no, but what we do need are, yoga mats or this. No, we're not going to pay for that. We've had none of that. We have, our board has been fabulous. They wait for me to come and say, this is what we like and this is why. And if it's a lot of money, they talk about it. I mean, it's not an automatic, blank check.
That means they're having a failure to communicate.
Yeah, it's just, So anyway, thank you to my Friends Board. All right, let's take our top of the hour break. We have more announcements to make. We have special days. Carol and I are going to be, it's National, it's Positive Attitude Month, so we're going to talk about that and how that impacts your health. We're going to talk about Carol's upcoming show. So we have a lot more happening here. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial and WCPC Cable Channel 15. We'll be back after our top of the hour break.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
You're listening to 107.5 WSFD-LP, Westfield Community Radio in Westfield, Mass.
Okay, wake up. Ooh. It is 7:08. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial and WCPC Cable Channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. Pete Coles is behind the glass, our producer. And Carol Palmer joins us on the first Wednesday of the month, which happens to be October 1st this month. Carol is our group exercise instructor at the Westfield Senior Center, teaching our totally fun, in capital letters, fitness class. That when I was proofing this month's newsletter, we kept changing totally fun and when it was happening. So at one point I had said to Jim Corwin over the phone, okay, you need to change this. And so he sent me the proof back and I said, no, fun gets capitalized. It's not capitalized, Jim. It's got to be capitalized.
Yeah, well, my class might disagree with it.
Well, no, we're having fun. All right, one more announcement that I want to make before I go to some of the things that are happening around Westfield coming up is this month on the Westfield Council on Aging Presents, I'm plugging my own program, but it's a special Retire the Fire segment that we did on dementia, memory loss, and home safety, which is a whole other ballgame because when you're talking about home safety, fire prevention, fall prevention for people with dementia, memory loss, Alzheimer's disease, as Harry and I discussed in this segment, it adds a whole other layer to what you have to do because, so much of what we do with safety involves explaining this is why we do it. But when you're dealing with somebody who keeps forgetting what the explanation is, you have to approach it in a different way. Yep. So anyway, that is aired on, that will be aired on cable channel 15 every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:45. And of course, Pete also has that bundled on YouTube, so you can go onto the city website. And all of that is in our newsletter. But I would encourage you to do that, especially if you have someone in the family with dementia, and especially if the person is in the earlier stages and still living at home alone, and families just checking frequently and so forth. Lots of tips that I provided on how to kind of cope with that and strategize. So that's that. I want to remind people that the Westfield Farmers Market, it goes until October 16th. So we still, I think, have 2 or 3 more coming up. So they are at the Episcopal Church of the Atonement every Thursday from noon to 5 p.m. They sent out their newsletter last night and they said, we apologize. If you recall, last Thursday it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
Pouring. So they canceled it. But it's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow, beautiful fall day. The farmers, they've all got their, their squash and pumpkins and all those fall vegetables. So stop by because you still have a couple more Thursdays for that. The Arbors Assisted Living is offering Elder Law Basics. It's a free seminar. You can join at the Arbors. Attorney Todd Ratner, Thursday, October 9th at 5 p.m. You do have to RSVP for this, folks. So if you're interested, he's going to talk about Elder Law Basics, Estate Planning 101, and he'll do questions and answers, which I find whenever we do a legal program, the questions and answers are just super helpful. So RSVP at 636-0734. And I have this flyer up on the bulletin board at the Senior Center when you first come in. Remember, everyone, this Sunday is Run Stanley, but we have a bunch of us that are doing the stroll and roll. So, walkers, wheelchairs, baby strollers. We're kidnapping Charlie so that we can have her just for that. She's normally it would be at her dad's this weekend. But he actually has a wedding to go to, so he's fine with the kidnapping for a few hours.
Oh, yeah, good.
So that's going to work well. So if you have not registered, you can register the day of. It is supposed to be a beautiful weekend. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. We'll be taking off. If my group asked me, what time should we get there? 9:30, 9:45. Pete and Kenny will be doing tag teaming the DJing for Sunday. Anyway, it's a great event. Kids, you got to get there before 10 o'clock so you can watch the Munchkin Run because that's the best part of the whole thing. Because
oh my gosh, it's so
you
funny.
watch these children that are all these young ages, and I love the ones that like the 4 or 5 year olds that start out like a house. They think it's a sprint, and then they realize we did shorten it, but it's still kind of long for them. So they take off like a bat out of nowhere, and then they get about a quarter of the way done, and it's like, then they're exhausted. And then by the time they come around, they can't find the finish line. So they're wandering, they're going off. And so we always have a lot of people to direct them and help them over the finish line. So anyway, it's a great fundraiser for Stanley Park. It's a lot of fun. It's multi-generational. So, babies, we got the trail run, we have the canine run. So it's babies, adults, grandparents, dogs. There's something for everybody at this.
Yeah, I got a bunch going.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm happy about that. All right. So let's talk about the fact that it is, what do you want to talk about? National Walk to School Day or National Hair Day? What do you want to do first?
Oh, do the hair.
All right, Hair Day. We'll do the Hair Day first, then we'll break for a quarter hour thing. All right, so today, October 1st, is National Hair Day. So maybe every day can't be a good hair day, but in celebration of National Hair Day, this one certainly can be. Join in and get ready to learn and appreciate everything fun and exciting that has to do with hair. So, how to celebrate National Hair Day? Carol's already one step ahead of me because she has a hair appointment today.
I do.
Yes, she has a hair appointment.
I was just going to say that.
All right, so get a haircut. Make an appointment at the barber or hair salon in honor of National Hair Day. Get that new do that you've been thinking about, whether it's chopping it short, going for layers, adding bangs or fringe, or turning into a platinum blonde inspired by Marilyn Monroe.
Oh.
Please do not do that, Carol. I would not recognize you as a platinum blonde.
No, my hair lady said, don't ever do that. You won't look like Marilyn Monroe.
I know.
You're going to look like, what's his name? One of the Marx brothers.
Well, my hairdresser said to me when I gave him, and he told me this a long time ago, and it's really always stuck with me. You know how you look through those books with the haircuts and you say, oh, I love that haircut. And my hairdresser said to me, okay, Tina, here's the thing about that. Even though that may be a haircut that we can do, you might have the right texture hair and everything, you don't look like that model. So you're not going to look the same as that model with that haircut. So I discovered this about 15 years ago when I found this short haircut, and I thought I really liked it. It was really cute, and I carried it. I cut out the picture, and I had it for weeks and weeks. And finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to take this. My hair was shorter then anyway, so I said, I'm going to take this in and see if Mike can cut my hair this way, my hairdresser. So he looked at it and he said, oh, yeah, I can do that. So he did. Cut my hair. It was it looked exactly like the picture. I got home, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, with this haircut, I look like my mother. I looked exactly like my mother. And and this was like 15 or 20 years ago. And I said, no, I do not want to look like my mom. I love you, Mom, but I don't want to look like you. So, it was a short haircut. I could just, change the part and pull it back or whatever. But yeah, so from then on, I only look at, when I'm considering a new hairstyle, I only look at, you can Google women over the age of 60 or something like that, because it'll give you a better idea of what the heck you're going to look like. You're not going to look like a 25-year-old model.
No, but years ago they used to say that after a certain age of 50, you should have shorter hair.
Correct.
Oh, mine keeps getting longer and longer.
I know, and my husband reminded me of that because I told him years ago. I said, I think women who are over a certain age look dumb with long hair. My husband reminded me of that when my hair was shoulder length, and I said, but I think what I was looking at more was like women with, although some women can pull this off too, but women with like white hair, gray hair that's like really long, like kind of long and sort of stringy and not really, there's no style to it. But there are some women that can actually pull off long gray hair if it's the right texture, and it's beautiful. I've seen a few, and it's like, wow, I wish my hair was like that.
No.
It's really cool.
I'm going to dye a redhead.
All right. Consider a new hairstyle. Of course, National Hair Day doesn't mean it's necessary to go to extremes. Even those who aren't ready for a new cut or color might be able to play around with their hair a bit on this day. Maybe start by making the part on your hair on the other side. I can never do that because I can't figure out how to style it. This is also a great time to learn a new skill that's related to hairstyling. So maybe learning how to make a regular braid or a French braid or a fishtail braid, which I don't even know what a fishtail braid is. But you can YouTube it. And other online videos can act as an excellent source for learning with easy step-by-step tutorials on how to create a new hairstyle, not necessarily cutting it, but styling it differently. Try out some new hair care products. So National Hair Day is the ideal time to pop into the beauty supply store and find out what's new in the world of hair care products and styling tools. So maybe pick up a new brand of mousse or heat protectant spray, or try out a new curling iron. I tried out this curling iron that we were passing around the senior center. I think Julie Barnes, it belongs to Julie.
Oh.
And Sandra borrowed it, and it like crimps it. And I really liked the way it looked when those two did it. So they said, oh, you can borrow it. We're passing it around. Well, Carol, I could not get the hang of using this thing. I'm used to a regular curling iron, I do it. It's automatic. I can do it in my sleep. This thing, I'm like, okay, now what do I do? And now I'm like this in front of the mirror. My arms are all over the place. Gary's like, what are you doing? I said, and I'm trying not to burn myself. And I said,
Yeah.
I finally gave up. I said, I think it's one of those things where if somebody else did it, I think it
Yeah.
would look kind of cool
Right.
on my hair. I can't do it to myself. It's like me trying to do a French braid. I can't do that to myself either. But anyway, or consider getting a fun new hair color. Well, you could get a temporary one, like dye your hair pink. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, dye your hair pink. All right. You can enjoy new hair accessories. Now, this is right up your alley, Carol.
Absolutely.
Hop into an accessory shop or department store and check out or the dollar store.
Yeah, there you go.
And check out what's on offer these days for hair accessories. So ribbons, ponytail holders, barrettes, clips, tiaras, so many other delightful products provide tons of different options for wearing the hair in unique ways. Try securing a ponytail in the back, a braid, 2 buns on the side. I think of, what's her name?
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia,
Yeah.
right. I'm like, I don't think you want to do that. Or even a popular banana clip to hold the hair back from the face. So little girls can get away with, a brand new hair bow in honor of National Hair Day. Something colorful would be fun and delightful in addition to a hairstyle keeping things snazzy. Well, I have a 2-year-old. Is Evie into like the hair stuff?
No.
Oh, well, we have a shoebox full of hair ties and clips and all this other stuff that, people have given to Charlie over since she was born. So periodically now she wants the entire shoebox, and it's like we have to put everything on, not just her, on me. So, and of course, I forget. If my hair's up in a messy bun, which it often is when I'm at home, Charlie's putting these clips all over the place. I forget I have them in. So then we go outside and play. And my neighbors are looking at me like, what the heck is that in your hair? Oh, it's a Mickey Mouse clip, and it's, I got all kinds of stuff. Anyway, lots of fun to have with your grandchildren. All right, it is 7:21. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial and WCPC cable channel 15. When we come back, we have to talk about National Walk to School Day, and then we're going to get into Positive Attitude Day. So we'll be back.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. Boom on like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop, stop, stop. Under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance. So just dance, dance, dance. I can't stop the feeling, yeah. So keep dancing. Oh, yeah, yeah. I can't stop the. 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 Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel the good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. Everybody say.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Saturdays were made for polka. Tune in to the Polka Jammer Network starting at 6 a.m. and Polka Hall of Famer Billy Bellina, Breakfast at BB at 8:30.
Community Radio, 89.5 WSKB.
You're listening to 107.5 WSFD-LP, Westfield Community Radio in Westfield, Mass.
It's a party over here. You are listening to WSFD at it's 107.5. I'm like really messed up. WSFD 107.5 on your dial and WCPC cable channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio this morning with Carol Palmer, who is our group exercise instructor at the Westfield Senior Center, teaching the totally fun FUN capitalized fitness class twice a week. You know, we were just listening to the polka thing with Billy Bellina. It just reminds me now polka. My father taught me how to polka, but the biggest polka dance that I ever had was with my Uncle Andy, who loved to polka. So we were at this Hungarian church picnic, Sunday picnic that they used to have annually in Passaic, New Jersey, where my grandparents lived and my parents grew up. And my mother said Uncle Andy wanted somebody to polka with. And Uncle Andy was about my size. I was about 8 years old at the time.
Oh.
And he was just a little guy. And Aunt Millie, his wife, who never stopped talking ever, was also really tiny. But Aunt Millie was having some mobility problems, so she couldn't dance anymore. So my mother said, well, Uncle Andy's looking for a dance partner. And my mother said to Uncle Andy, well, Tina knows how to polka. I was just his size. Oh, great. Uncle Andy, I don't think my feet ever hit the floor. I was used to doing the polka with my dad, who, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Uncle Andy was spinning at the same time that he was going around. The whole dance floor cleared. He was an amazing dancer. I mean, but he was fast and he was wiry. And literally, I said, my brothers and I were talking about this when I was up in Maine. I said, I don't think my feet ever hit the floor. I thought they were like flat out, they were straight out. He was just spinning me around. It was a blast. And I was so dizzy when I was done. And I thought, and I was like 8. I don't know how he wasn't. I mean, he was probably in his 60s at the time, 50s.
Yeah,
60s,
but they're
like
amazing. Those dancers are amazing.
They are.
They can do this for hours on end.
No, but the polka is so much fun. I absolutely love to polka. All right. Today's October 1st. It is National Walk to School Day. So I figured I would save this for a while Carol's here, Miss Exercise person over here. So the first Wednesday of October marks National Walk to School Day, an annual event that encourages students, parents, and communities to experience the simple joy and numerous benefits of walking to school. This day aims to build awareness for creating more walkable, vibrant, and safe communities for everyone. Walking is a fantastic form of low-impact exercise that is easy on the joints. A regular walk to school helps promote cardiovascular fitness, maintain a healthy weight, and improve mood. Students often arrive at school more alert and ready to learn after a brisk morning walk. When children and parents walk through their neighborhoods, they strengthen the community's social fabric. It provides opportunities to greet neighbors and build a shared sense of place. Increased pedestrian traffic also enhances neighborhood safety by creating more eyes on the street. So the history of this day, it was founded in 1997 by the Partnership for a Walkable America. It began as a one-day event to build awareness and advocate for the need for walkable communities. The event was inspired by the United Kingdom's Walk to School campaign, making it part of a larger international movement. So that's kind of interesting. Today, it has grown into a month-long celebration in many communities, fostering a movement for year-round safe routes to school. You know, I remember when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to walk to school. And even the students, well, we didn't have a lot of sidewalks where I grew up. It was a suburb. But, I mean, even students who literally lived, like, down the street from the school took the bus in. And I always, even as a kid, I always thought, that's so dumb. I mean, they could walk there so much faster.
You weren't allowed to walk?
No, they weren't allowed to. And again, I think it was because we didn't have sidewalks.
So it was a safety issue.
It was yeah, they considered it a safety issue. I think that's different now. But so how to observe Walk to School Day? Well, anyone can get involved in National Walk to School Day. I really love this, and I really think a community you'd have to do planning for this. But for students and parents, the easiest way, obviously, is to walk to school. So plan your route. Invite a friend and enjoy the journey. You can make it fun by decorating backpacks or creating signs. For schools can organize events, map out suggested safe routes, or invite local leaders to walk with students. I think that would be cool. Hosting an assembly about pedestrian safety is another great option, which I think is a good idea. And then for the community, I like this. Everyone can participate by driving, obviously, extra cautiously on Walk to School Day. Local businesses can show support by offering encouragement or healthy snacks to walkers. I think that would be so cool. So a few safety tips for walking to school. Though walking to school has many benefits, it can also be dangerous. So you have to be careful. So always plan your route and share it with your family. And by the way, older adults, you should do that. Walking or running. Like when I'm going to run, I tell my family, just the general, I don't know everybody. It's like I'm heading that way or I'm heading
what
this
route
way.
You're taking.
Yeah. So that, if I'm not home in 2 hours, somebody send the troops. Never walk alone. Use a buddy system with another student from your school. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't talk to strangers. Know your neighborhood and avoid areas that are out of view from the main area. So don't take shortcuts, through backwoods or back alleys or whatever. Stay so that you're in view. Know the traffic rules. You should be walking against the traffic. And wear, good shoes, good walking shoes, and reflective clothing. So I could see this being like a big deal. But I'm impressed with the number of walkers that we have in Westfield. That the kids that walk every day.
Yeah. My route, you would just be appalled at where I had to walk when I got into junior high and high school.
Yeah,
because the school was on the other side of town, and there was a bridge over the river, so I had to walk, and my mom didn't drive.
Yeah.
So I walked. I had a couple friends I went with, all the way from my school, across the bridge, through downtown.
Yep.
And we lived 5 blocks up a hill like this.
Oh my goodness.
And I walked that back and forth every day. Until winter hit, and then once in a while somebody's mother.
Yeah.
Or and then when I got a boyfriend and he got a car.
Oh yeah, baby. That was a big deal for the guys. It was like even if they had some old jalopy, it
had
was
holes
just
in
like
the floor. Yeah,
it didn't matter. It was wheels, and so they were going to get a girl that way.
Right.
We all knew that,
and that worked actually.
Of course it did.
I can't tell you how many times and I didn't think anything of it. Mm-hmm. And there was a Newberry's on the way. I'll never forget downtown. There was a Newberry.
Yeah.
And they used to make those phosphate drinks.
Yeah.
And my favorite was a chocolate phosphate. So sometimes we'd stop in there
in there.
and have and then up that hill.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you really did walk uphill both ways in
Yes,
the
I
snow
did.
to go to school. Now, where was that? Where did you grow up?
Corning, New York.
Oh
and
my
that's where
goodness. Yeah,
my
well, you-
60th reunion just happened there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think about that all the
Lot of
time. And I think
snow.
if I ever showed my great grandsons that route,
Do you know what the mileage was, Carol?
I'd have to say a good solid 2 miles.
Yeah, I mean,
At
that's
least. Yeah.
far.
And uphill.
Yeah, and uphill in both directions.
And the hills in Corning, New York are not like this.
Yeah, they're not
like this.
They're
like
not
straight up.
inclines. They're mountains.
No, they're so
Well, I took the bus, but my bus stop, and even Gary said, "Wow, you walked far." I mean, my bus stop was at least a half a mile.
Yeah.
So because Gary's bus stop was he was on the rich side of town.
Of course.
Sorry. I was on the rural side of town with the farms. And so his bus stop was literally like 5 houses up the street. My bus stop was a good half mile away, and you couldn't see the bus from my house. I mean,
Right.
you couldn't even tell from the top of the hill. We had a big hill that in the morning we walked down, but in the afternoon, obviously, we had to walk up this really steep hill that was like, because my neighborhood was at the top. You'd go up to the top of the hill, and then the neighborhood was up here. But with Gary said he was late for the bus like every day, and he had a sister who was a year older. So Donna would be the one. She'd be on time. She'd be running. Oh, Mrs. So and So, can you just wait? My brother's on his way. And of course, everybody loved Gary, so they would wait. I said to Gary, "Didn't the other kids on the bus?" And Gary said, "No, they were all good." He was voted most popular. Everybody loved him.
Of course
he was. He was. But for me, I said you couldn't even tell. From that, you had to at the top of the hill. You were like, okay, there's nobody down there. Is it because I missed the bus, or is it just so early that they haven't gotten there yet?
Yeah.
Because both things happened. But I used to get up at the crack of dawn in order to get the bus stop. All right, so all of that. Let's take a short break. When we come back, it is October is Positive Attitude Month. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about developing a positive attitude if you don't already have one, some tips and so forth. So let's take a short break. It is 7:36. You're listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial and WCPC cable channel 15. I put this one especially for you. Pete is a Gloria Estefan fan, so I thought, and all these positive songs are all about dancing. This one is Get On Your Feet, and we will be back.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
You're listening to 107.5 WSFD-LP, Westfield Community Radio in Westfield, Mass.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:40. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 on your dial and WCPC cable channel 15. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio this morning with Carol Palmer. Carol is our group exercise instructor at the Senior Center, teaching our totally fun fitness class. And I thought, what better person to talk about Positive Attitude Month? October is Positive Attitude Month, and having a positive attitude in everyday life can really change how the world feels around you. A warm outlook doesn't erase problems. We all have problems, but it makes them a little easier to handle. People with cheerful mindsets tend to bounce back quicker, stay healthier, and feel more connected to others. That is what Positive Attitude Month encourages, a daily habit of noticing what's good and choosing to lean into it. Even small shifts in thinking can lead to real changes in how your day unfolds. A smile becomes easier and stress loses some of its grip. Research across health and wellness circles supports this mindset. Optimism links to better sleep, lower stress, and fewer sick days. Doctors often see that people with hopeful minds heal faster and cope better with illness. A calm, steady mood also helps relationships grow stronger. When your thoughts turn brighter, so do your choices. Positive Attitude Month reminds us that good energy isn't just a feeling, it's a habit worth building. In a world full of what feels like continual bad news, having a positive attitude can be an achievement in and of itself. However, once you realize that you can adapt a positive mindset, even when your back is against the wall, it can really change the way you live. So, what do you think, Carol? Before we'll dive into some of these, how to create a more positive attitude. But what are your initial thoughts?
When I read the article, I was thinking to myself, an old saying that my brother-in-law used to say all the time: life is full of choices. Mm-hmm. These are choices that you make physically and mentally to develop that kind of attitude. So it's not like it's easy to do,
right?
And some easier for some people than others.
Sure,
but that's what struck me, that these are choices. Life is full of choices.
It is, and I have a saying on my bulletin board above my desk at home that kind of says that. It's like, life is full of choices. If you don't like your life, start making different choices.
Yeah.
And I think that's, really true. So a few tips that Carol was kind of referring to is create a gratitude moment. We've talked a little bit on this show about the importance of gratitude. Set aside a few minutes each day to write down what felt good. It doesn't have to be life-changing. Maybe it was, warm sunlight, a friendly text, or a task that you finished. I tend to rate my weekends with, if somebody says, was it a good weekend? And I'm usually like, what did I accomplish? Yeah, I got a lot done, so it was a good weekend. This small habit slowly rewires your thoughts to notice the good more often. When you start seeing small joys clearly, they grow louder than the worry. That shift helps even tough days feel more balanced. Over time, your mindset becomes more rooted in calm and appreciation. And I think, I think that sort of surrounding yourself too with people that are, upbeat, and people that can laugh. I just find humor and laughter is so important in our lives because, the world's a mess. Sometimes our families are a mess. There's all kinds of stuff that we don't have control over. And I have found in my work settings, and you probably have too, you worked at the YMCA for many years, there can be a lot of heartbreak. I mean, we work with older adults. There are all kinds of things that happen.
Yeah.
But, if we're all able, and it's funny because I run 2 support groups. We always finish with some humor. And because sometimes we've cried, during the support group. And, we have tissue boxes all over the place, but we always finish with humor. And I think that's really important to,
Absolutely. I try to inject, I got your joke, by the way, that was in my
was that I can't
your
remember.
story.
Oh, yeah. And I know. I've started doing that. We print them out, and I'm like, I got an extra. I'll give it to Carol.
Yeah. We always, towards the end of class, we always have things like that. But
which is when I taught at Springfield College, I used to do, we used to have, what did I call it? Something talk. Anyway, and we used to throw it out to the students. Okay, what'd you do this weekend? Who did something fun? Who has a great story? And at first they all looked at me like I had 4 heads because these were, like 20-year-olds. But then they got into it, by the end of the semester, they were, we spent half the class talking about this one had this and this one did that. And all right, so create a gratitude moment. Perform a kind act. Do something helpful without expecting anything back. Hold the door open, share a snack, or send someone a kind message. These gestures might seem small, but their ripple effect can stretch far. When people feel seen or valued, their entire day may shift. And what happens with that is you also feel lifted by that connection, no matter how brief. So giving without asking can gently build trust and warmth between strangers or close friends.
I'll tell you who the king of this is.
Go ahead.
My best friend who has Parkinson's, her husband's retired now, and he's really her caretaker. She's doing pretty well. But he said, I've always told my kids, when you're walking and you see somebody coming towards you, look them in the eye and smile or say good morning or whatever. And it's amazing how many people will respond positive, with a smile and, oh, good morning. They're shocked that you said anything to them. But he does that all the time.
Yeah.
And he said, you don't know how much that does for me. That makes me feel better.
Yep.
So honest to God, he's the king of that kind of communication.
Yeah. I'm a big one on holding doors open.
Yep.
And it's so funny. And when someone does that for me, especially if it's a male, someone of the male persuasion, I always respond with something like, "Who said chivalry is dead?"
Yeah.
And they always get a chuckle. They always laugh. And again, it's just that positive attitude of, I think just if you're putting it out there, you're getting it back as well.
Exactly.
So, all right, turn the challenge into the next step. So when something feels like it's falling apart, pause and ask, what's one thing that I can try? So even a small action can give a sense of control. That choice pulls you out of frustration and into motion. You may not fix the entire problem all at once, but you'll stop feeling so stuck. So seeing struggle as a step instead of a wall can transform your experience. Moving forward, even an inch, builds quiet strength inside. And I think that's so true. I mean, especially if it's a family issue or a health issue, just trying to get control over one little piece of it can make a big difference. Because, you're probably not going to solve the whole thing all at once within the next 10 minutes. We just talked about this, but spend time with upbeat people. Seek out folks whose words lift, not drain. And we all have acquaintances, friends, family that it's like, oh, I can't wait to see so-and-so. I never stop laughing. Or, oh, dear God, so-and-so is going to be there. We got to get through this. Have a sense of humor. So because often upbeat people, their energy brings laughter and fresh ideas and calm. And when you're around people who believe things can get better, then you'll believe that too. And that will help to change your attitude. They remind you that joy can live beside challenge because we all have both in our lives. You don't need constant cheer, but shared hope does matter. That kind of company leaves you feeling steadier and more open to the next day.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
It was funny. I was sharing earlier that I went up to Maine for a 4-day weekend, and I surprised my brother from Tennessee and my sister-in-law. And we laughed so much and so hard. Well, and one of the things that happened was my father's parents I'm Hungarian. I have 3 grandparents that came over from Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia. My father's parents came over from Hungary, and the day they died, they both lived to their late 90s. They sounded like they came over on the boat the day before because they only spoke Hungarian to each other. They had a dog, Lily, who was a Dalmatian, who was a big fat Dalmatian because they kept feeding Lily Hungarian food. And Lily only understood Hungarian. All the commands, it was like, Lily, every once in a while they would, we would visit her. They would bring Lily to visit us. And, we're saying we've got, dog treats, which Lily didn't even know what that was. But we're saying sit. Well, the dog had no idea what you were talking about. But my grandparent would say it in Hungarian. Oh, the dog would sit right down.
Yeah.
But anyway, my grandparents had these accents. And pretty much from the minute my brother, I threw the door open and, yelled surprise in my grandmother's accent. That just started the whole, we talked in a Hungarian accent for pretty much the entire 4 days we were there. To the point where my sister-in-law, who's from the South, who had met my grandparents before they passed away, but cannot for the life of her sound anything like that. She tries, and my brother finally said, honey, I really appreciate you trying, but you cannot do a Southern Hungarian accent. It doesn't fly. So my sister-in-law was busy videotaping us, having an entire conversations.
Oh, my God, that's hysterical.
And the thing that's so funny is my brother Dave, who does theater, can pretty much do he can lapse into any accent at any time.
That's a talent.
It is a talent in and of itself. So just name a nationality and he's in there. But Carol, we never stop laughing. So there's your upbeat people. Spend time with upbeat people.
That's also good for your abdominal muscles.
It is. It was fabulous. It was so fun. And just thinking about it makes me laugh. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. All right. Celebrate small wins. Notice the little things that you handled today. I do this when I go to bed at night, because I'm big on gratitude and I'm big on saying my prayers while I'm laying down in bed, but thinking, okay, thank you for this day. And then I start thinking about what are some of and I always start with not the problems because there were problems, but what are the good things, And I think that's really, so celebrate the small wins. Maybe you answered a message you were putting off, took a deep breath during stress, or helped someone to feel heard. So mark that moment in a notebook or simply say, I did that. I did that. That was a win. Each time you name a quiet win, it becomes easier to see how far you've come. So this habit grows self-trust and reminds you that progress doesn't need to be a spotlight. Bit by bit, your efforts shape a stronger path forward. And I think one of the messages to this, Carol, is that, just little small steps. So I think some people are just sort of naturally more positive, and some people are naturally more negative or more concerned. Because not even negative, some people are just worriers, and they do tend to, I want to say, look at that the glass is half empty, but it's just more like, ooh, this could happen or that could happen.
Yep.
So I get that. So I think if you're going to start to change that attitude to something that's more positive, it just has to be in little baby steps.
Yeah, you have to.
Right? Do you think? Yeah.
Yep.
I love this one. Well, there are two. This one, look for the silver lining. So in life, the smallest problems can sometimes feel like the world is going to end. I'm guilty of that. I absolutely. Mm-hmm. However, when you take a step back and realize life naturally brings ups and downs, you can choose to see the positive in all situations. So finding the good in things we know are flawed is an important aspect of adopting a positive attitude. This is one of my favorite. Don't hide from the rain, dance in it. I love that. Mm-hmm. So how you perceive your world can have a massive effect on how you feel. Take weather, for instance. When it's raining, what do you feel? You usually feel down, you feel bummed out, anxious. But if you switch to a positive attitude, all you have to do is hang out with a 2-year-old. Like last week it was, raining, and it's like, oh, we need it, but it's, this is such a pain. Charlie shows up. We said she started daycare. She's at a little family-run daycare that's, half mile away. So she's all excited because she has light-up boots. So she goes running out to the garage, brings her boots in, puts them on. She's stomping all over the house, lighting up the world. And her other thing is she loves umbrellas. And so she has this beautiful, it's almost like a parasol that Grace got at, Michael's or something on sale. So she's, all about like the umbrella and the boots, and she's got, this flowered raincoat. She's all excited.
Yeah. Evie does the same thing, and there's nothing she loves better than to go out in her yard and stomp around in the puddles.
In the puddles.
Yeah,
Of course,
with her little rain boots on.
They're little kids. It's the best. So they know how to dance in the rain.
Exactly.
For sure. They don't hide from it. Water brings life. How about this one? Thunder brings a sense of excitement before lightning strikes. And lightning sets the sky alight, and which is kind of cool. If you look at lightning, all of a sudden you're sort of seeing things across the sky that you're not used to seeing. So when's the last time you chose to walk in the rain? I've run in the rain, especially in the summer. I don't mind running in the rain at all.
Oh, no, that was my favorite time to run.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite
If
time.
it's like
drizzling
hot, muggy,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's perfect because when it's hot and muggy and I'm trying to stay in the shadows because it's already getting hot at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a sprinkler on and it's hitting the road. Like I'm running through the sprinkler,
I do the same thing.
Choose to view the world from a positive perspective, and your happiness will increase as well as your resilience. And when you feel happy, you massively increase your likelihood of performing at your best. The two are intrinsically linked. Sometimes you win. I like this quote. The quote is from a guy named Robert Kiyosaki, but I don't really know what he's famous for. But I do like this quote. The quote is, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. Mm-hmm. No matter who you are, what you do, or where you come from, you will have tasted disappointment or defeat at some point in your life. It's okay to feel deflated. It's okay to feel sad, but it's also important that you digest every aspect of your disappointment or defeat. So when you take the time to reflect and give it the microscope treatment, you'll be able to learn why you lost and what you can do in order to limit your losses in the future. See it as building up your own toolkit of strategies to help you deal with whatever curveballs life throws your way. Focus on what you have, not what you don't. So focus is an incredible tool that we all have. The capacity we have within ourselves to focus is unmatched. We don't always have control over this game that we call life, but we are in control of where we put our focus and our attention. Invest it in something meaningful and watch your attitude begin to change. I mean, they call it focus. I would call it priority. Where's your priority, and how do you want to kind of focus on that? Be optimistic and believe in the power of you. Be optimistic. To be optimistic is to possess an overall positive outlook of your world and to have trust in good things happening. You'll see an uplift in your own confidence, improve quality of life, and feel less stressed. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to this, sort of positive attitude. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but in terms of your own health.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, of course, exercise plays a huge role.
It absolutely does. And, we promote, and, we've talked about this before, Carol, and, all kidding aside, I mean, we promote group exercise as, and I know some people, I like to run on my own, but when I'm dancing or when I'm doing aerobics, I like to be in a group. You're laughing, you're having fun, you're, you're bonding, and it's, and I see it in your class, I see it in the mail call class, I see it in the line dancers. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Throw a bunch of people in a room and start exercising.
Well, because you're raising endorphins too, so that helps you feel better about yourself and others around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of this, the way I looked at it is, you have to step out of where you are. You have to, if you're used to walking around your neighborhood, if you're outside walking, change your route. Go on the bike path or go up to Stanley Park or something different. You need to step out of your little surroundings that
sort
you
of
have.
the comfort zone. You know what's really interesting too? Even changing, if you do your route but you do it backwards.
Yeah.
I'll do that sometimes with my run. And all of a sudden I'm running down the street going, I never noticed that guy's garden. Well, I wouldn't have noticed the garden because I come at it from this way.
Yeah.
Now I'm coming, and you can't see it. And now I'm coming at it from this way. And it's like this whole other perspective.
Yeah.
So even just changing something a little bit, if you're, not comfortable with a new neighborhood yet, you'll get there. Mm-hmm. Do your route backwards.
And I think traveling is a huge eye-opener
Yeah.
to see other parts of the country. And you said you were just in Maine.
Yeah.
I was in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, which is another whole world that I don't even want to get into.
I was going to say, that's like a whole other ball game.
Oh, my God.
That's out of the stratosphere.
But it does give you a different perspective when you come home. It's always good to get home.
Yeah.
But it's also good to see the world, to see more than, your neighborhood around you. I think it's a real positive influence.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end on that note. Happy Positive Attitude Month, everyone. I want to thank Carol Palmer for joining me. We're going to go out with, because I blew through the last break, but we're going to go out with, it is the birthday of Mary Poppins, of Julie Andrews. And also I thought this is the perfect song for both the birthday of Julie Andrews, because she sings it, but also Positive Attitude Month. So we're going to go out with the song A Spoonful of Sugar. And it's a show tune. Oh, we didn't even talk about your show. Just really quickly, the tickets are on sale.
Tickets are on sale online, westfieldtheatergroup.com.
Theater with an R-E.
With an R-E, right. Or if you type it in the other way, it'll still come up. And it's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and it opens October 18th.
Okay, so it's coming up. Be there or be square. I'm going to be there.
All right, we got a live show waiting in the
All
wings.
right, we're out of here. You are listening to WSFD and WCPC.
You find the fun and snap. The job's a game. And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. A robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest while gathering his bits of twine and twig. Though quite intent in his pursuit, he has a merry tune to toot. He knows a song will move the job along. Sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. That fetch the nectar from the flowers to the comb never tire of ever buzzing to and fro, because they take a little nip from every flower that they sip, and hence they find their task is not a grind.